So we saw how HANA came into picture and how does the storage of this database is completely different than our traditional databases. Now, how does these things are going to affect a web developer? So how life of an web developer changes because of this? How life of an web developer changes because of HANA? All of you have worked on ECC system, correct, right? So if we check the earlier part, yeah. So what we see in the architecture of, generally there is the 3-tier architecture which we are using. So in the SAP architecture for HANA, we have like presentation layer, application layer, and we have the database layer, correct? Earlier different DB was used to, we used to store the values here. Right now we have HANA DB. Application layer is for logic writing, where we can execute it because it provides the runtime environment. Presentation layer is for user interaction. Yeah, three things. So now if we are talking about how things have changed completely here, so we will take two scenario like before HANA and what has our purpose changed completely now after HANA, before and after. So if we check till now what we used to do, even if we are going for our object-oriented programming, which we have seen here. So till now, what we are doing, if we check it, we will find out that we have like one selection screen, which we use to take input. So using selection screen to take input, then we are writing select. Generally, this is the thing which we do here. So select star from database and storing it into table item. This is what we are doing. If there is any CRUD operation required, we used to loop on I tab and perform the changes. This is the internal table here. If there is any changes required, we are simply looping on it and we used to perform the changes. After that, we used to display the ALV report. And if there is any update or commit, we do the same. Yeah. This is our traditional way of ABAP programming. Am I correct or not?
Yes.
Everyone, right? So if you check here, what we are doing, we are using selection screen. We are just using database as a storage. Rest we are bringing it, storing it on the application layer. On the application layer itself, we are looping, displaying the ALV report and performing everything. So what we can see here, we can see most of our logic and processing part. This is the same stuff here. Processing part is happening directly on the application layer. On the application layer only. And very rarely we are using the database layer. Very rarely we are using the database layer. Correct? Very rarely. Only for a storage part. Very less we are using it. This programming paradigm is called data to code paradigm. Another interview question. This programming paradigm is called data to code paradigm. What does it mean? It simply means your data is there in your database From there, you are bringing it and you are storing it in the internal table. And in the internal table, you are simply performing all these logical and processing part. Data to code paradigm. Yeah. Data to code paradigm. Data is there. You are simply sending the data to logical part on the application layer. But now we have HANA. HANA is a very powerful device here. Multi-core CPU is there. Column store concept is there. Mostly logical, analytical, every part is affected here. So what our value has changed completely here. With addition of HANA, so with addition of HANA, our purpose has become to utilize the database layer, utilize the database layer more effectively for logical and analytical part also. For logical and analytical part also. So what now things are going to do? Earlier, everything was going to happen on the application layer only. So this programming paradigm is not very effective. If there will be more load on the application layer, the performance of the application will not be high. Simple thing, not be high. The processing will be slow. It's now with addition of HANA, our goal has become to utilize the DB layer for most of the logical part also. So here we will be simply sending the input from the application layer to the database layer, and all the, or better, most of the logical part will happen on the DB layer only. DB layer only. That is sending our code intensive logic to HANA layer, for computation. The programming paradigm shifted completely with addition of HANA. So what actually happening here, HANA DB is really very powerful. We know this is more powerful and works on multi-core, multi-processing concepts. And since data is also there, so what we can say, then it becomes really easier to perform the operation and return the result to the application layer only. So it works on multi-core concept, and also our data is stored inside the database itself. So here performance will become easier. Yeah. And then result will be returned to application layer, and from application layer to presentation layer. This programming paradigm is called code to data paradigm. Another thing is coming into picture. So other than row store and column store, data to code and code to data is also very, very important. Yeah. Are you getting it? We will see that how things are getting adjusted here when once new syntax will be there in the picture. Okay, everyone, Kuntal, is it okay? Right.
Yeah, on
Great. So another thing was how HANA got adopted by the industry. Yes. So when SAP came with HANA, they also they also came with a HANA database connectivity, HDB connectivity, which can connect the existing ECC system with HANA database. Yeah, they came with this HANA database connectivity. What they did, they showed to their customers by connecting the ECC to HDB. They showed the performance basically to their customers by connecting the ECC to HDB HANA database. Yeah. So slowly, these big companies mainly, not a smaller one, realizes the efficiency of it. And if you check the current scenario of market, right now, around 70% only migration projects is going on in the market. Correct, Kuntal?
yes.
Right? Everybody is migrating from ECC to HANA, from their old and traditional databases to HANA. Also, the support of ECC system will end by 2027. So before that, that's why it is better to only work on HANA database. Yeah, only work on HANA database. Yeah, right. Now there is a question. What is ABAP on HANA system? Okay, we have been learning this thing like from last 15, 16 sessions. So I just want to know, in your opinion, if somebody is asking what is ABAP on HANA system, or so what you are going to say, or what is ABAP on HANA things? You have to simply explain this terminology, how you are going to explain it.
The code which we are writing in the ABAP should be the HANA complete. I mean to say that it will support the HANA database layer.
Okay. Any other thing?
It should be the I mean to say that the database paradigm, right? What you have said previously.
Okay,
And
got it.
whatever the logic or whatever the query we should write in maximum, we should get into the database layer, not in application. Application
Mm,
layer.
The
yeah.
ABAP syntax to communicate with HANA database.
Web system to communicate with HANA database. Okay. All right. So one question here is coming into picture. Difference between ABAP on HANA and S4 HANA. Now tell me this.
Uh, S/4HANA and ABAP on HANA is completely, see, the thing is that S/4HANA is known as a system where the backend database is supported by the HANA system. Okay, and ABAP on HANA is just like the code or just like the syntax or whatever the custom changes and whatever the changes we are doing, that should be compatible to the HANA.
So you are
I
asking
mean,
about like only programming part, right?
yeah, basically ABAP on HANA will come into the picture when we write into the programming, right? So it cannot be our S4 HANA is completely the whole package for the SAP system. It's completely just like the ERP or just like the ECC kind of the system because you cannot compare like the ECC to the ABAP.
Okay. All right. Let's find it out. Very interesting thing. And there is lot of differences here. Let's see. So here when I'm talking about ECC system, what I saw, they came with a HANA database connectivity and they connected with HANA database. They showed the performance to their customers. Slowly, lots of companies realized it. Yeah. Now, over the period of time, like I'm talking about 2013 and 14, what they did, SAP launched a NetWeaver. NetWeaver is the backend component basically. 7.4, who has the direct connectivity or direct support of connectivity of a web application system or a web system with the HANA database. Yes, with the HANA database. And what is this ABAP on HANA basically? So ABAP on HANA is nothing but ABAP on HANA is the technology. Please remember it. Java is a technology. Python is a technology. ABAP on HANA is also a technology in which we need the minimum version of 7.4 SAP NetWeaver. Yeah. And using this ABAP on HANA technology, what they did, they built, SAP built lots of solutions. Yes. What is the solution means? Solution means something which can help the company, which can help the organization. So using this ABAP on HANA technology, SAP built lots of solutions. Yeah, like you might have heard Suite on HANA, SRM on HANA, CRM on HANA, CRM on HANA, HCM on HANA. These all were solutions of this technology. Yeah, this is a technology. Please do not call it a syntax or some custom changes. This is a technology using which you can also develop the custom applications. So using this technology, SAP built lots of solutions. Yeah. Okay. But here what they saw, like if you can simply say, so ABAP on HANA is the technology, and Suite on HANA was the solution of it, using which, using the technology ABAP on HANA, it was built. But also at that time, this thing did not became very popular because there were lots of problems with this Suite on HANA. What they realized, like over the period of time, Suite on HANA was not a big success for them. They planned something, but again, some mistakes were still there. The problem was here, lots of tables in this solution, we are still following the row store concept. Lots of secondary indexes were still there. Indexes were still there. There was another problem. Since this solution was not a big success, what SAP did in 2015, SAP came with one final solution. It came with another solution. Yeah, another solution. And they named it S4 HANA. Yes, they came with another solution, and what they named it? They named it S4 HANA. Yes. So these whole things that they built, they were building it for mainly testing purpose. But finally, in 2015, they built their final product S4 HANA. And what does it means? Here S stands for simplified fourth generational product. Yeah. ECC was the third generational software. So what they did, SAP launched its fourth generation in 2015, which was named S4 HANA, which only works on HANA DB. Yeah. So what you are going to say from now on, S4 HANA is the solution which is built on the top of ABAP on HANA technology. S4 HANA is the solution which is built on the top of ABAP on HANA technology and which only works on HANA DB. So if anyone is using S4 HANA system, you can simply check this part also. So if you are going for your SAP GUI, you can simply go and check system and status. And there is your HDB, HANA database. Yeah. So this solution also came mainly in two flavors. First one was your on-premise system, and the second one was your on-cloud system. This solution mainly came in two flavors, on-premise and on-cloud system. What is the difference between on-premise and on-cloud? Yeah, anyone? This is a general concept, on-premise and on-cloud. So what is the difference between it?
Basically, on-premise is a kind of a system where the physical hardware or physical hard disks present, right?
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Uh, On-premise, suppose we are maintaining, suppose one XYZ company want to implement their HANA solution, right? So, want to implement the software. So, they have some physical kind of the server present into their system and all this maintenance. So that is known as on-premise kind of the system.
Okay.
And on cloud means actually just like a Google. Okay, Google is presenting a overall system to all. So in on cloud system, it's basically have a two part, private cloud and the private public cloud, right?
Hmm.
So if you are using as a private cloud, so we are requesting the Google to allocate some space, and this space is only accessible by us. Okay, by XYZ company, not YZ company. Okay, and if we there should be some set of the protocol and some set of the things that you can access to it.
Hmm.
So that's the main difference for the on-premise and the on-cloud system.
Yes, great. Okay, let's make it more easier. So whatever Kuntal you said, completely correct. And the same way we can also say, like, suppose if we want to, if I or anyone, if we want to implement SAP, right? As a ABAPer, let's go for this. If we want to implement SAP, what we need? We need hardware, we need computers, correct? We need SAP software, we need to purchase SAP software, all these things. So SAP software, we need to set up the runtime environment, correct? We need database. We need a separate place to store all these things, separate place to store all these things, correct? We need, I should say, a basis team for setup and maintenance, correct? We need a basis team for for this initial setup and maintenance. So on-premise requires a initial investment, a initial investment for all these things, a initial investment, which is a very large amount, mainly in crores. That is why earlier it was not possible for smaller organizations to go for on-premise system. Only big companies were implementing SAP. But what SAP did, SAP said, no need to go for direct all these things. Instead, SAP started. SAP is offering basically here a setup computer over the internet. Very easy word here, over the internet, from which you can just use your credentials, credential, and log into the system. You can just use your credential and log into the system. You can just use your credential and log into the system. This is one thing. Second thing, every maintenance will be taken care by SAP. SAP only. We are just required to log in and pay the rent monthly or yearly wise. Here you purchased everything. This became your software at one cost. But now what SAP is saying, instead of paying a very large amount, pay us monthly wise. It is mainly in lakh, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, you will get lots of things here. So all the maintenance will be taken care by SAP only. We can just, like, even as a startup company, we can simply buy the user ID and start developing our application. That is your on cloud system. Correct, Kuntal, right? Yeah. Everyone, is it okay? So this S4 HANA system is available in mainly two flavors, on-premise and on-cloud system. The upgradation or the upgrades for this on-premise will be launched or will be given by SAP for every 2 years. Earlier it was for every year, but now they have turned it for every 2 years. And the upgradation cloud system will be launched every year. So usually like in September they are going to release this thing, September or August. Yeah, it will be mostly in September. Two flavors, on-premise and on-cloud. Everyone, are you okay with it? Any question, any confusion on this part? Hmm?
No, sir, clear for me.
Right, Kuntal? This part is okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So let's see some architectural part of our HANA DB. Whenever I'm talking about HANA database, let's see the architectural component of it. This is the architecture of our SAP HANA. Let's understand it. Architecture of HANA DB. Architecture of HANA DB. Architecture of HANA database. It's really important. It will help you to understand like how our database is so powerful and why it is not only a database. So the very first thing that you see here, mainly you can see six components are there. You can see here six parts. If you have to divide this database, you can simply divide this database into mainly six components. Very first one, HANA Access A and Access. HANA Access A and Access. This is the first component here. So first one is your HANA Access A and Access. Access A stands for Extensible Services Advanced, and Access stands for Extensible Services. What they have done here, they have added one lightweight server in HANA. They have added one lightweight server in HANA, and using this, we can directly build the applications here, and we can also manage their life cycles. Yes, we can build an end-to-end application, an end-to-end application here, and we can manage their life cycles directly on HANA. See, we don't need any application server separately to build these applications. We can directly build these applications on HANA. So lots of companies are also purchasing this database, not only a web point of view, but as a in-memory computing engine, as a lightweight application server, which is directly integrated so that they can build this application and execute it. So the question here, another is coming into picture. Can we build The ABAP application. Can we build the ABAP application here? What do you think, Kuntal? Can we build it directly here? With these things
No,
coming into picture, can we build it?
no,
Why?
because it should be the above
What?
thing.
Hmm?
Let me think. Actually, what does it mean by XA? HANA XA?
Not
It's
HANA X. I said this is a one lightweight server they have added in HANA, using which we can build some applications directly here, and we can manage their life cycle. Managing their life cycle means we can perform all the CRUD operation. We can run the directly here. This is providing one server.
but see, the thing is that ABAP is one type of the platform, right, where we can write our code and all these things.
No, no,
Basically,
no.
it's kind of the
So
platform.
that is also providing one platform now here.
But we cannot write the code in the see, just like if we compare like a Java. Java is also known as a one type of the platform, but you cannot write the whole code into the whole code into
Are
the Java layout. So that's
Java
what
is
I'm
a
thinking.
technology. No, 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 no. Java is a
Even ABAP is
technology.
also the technology, right?
I'm saying the same stuff. Java is a technology. You have to write the Java code. You will have to go to the Java editor, correct?
Correct, correct.
Here. So you
So
can
that
use Eclipse here now. That's what I am saying. Just I
yeah,
am asking that
yeah.
without using the ABAP application server, since we have some lightweight application here, can we write the ABAP application? Can we build the ABAP application directly using the database? That is my question.
Yeah, we can write it.
That is the answer for it. See, SAP is very smart. They have done, if once you will slowly understand the concepts here, now you will realize their agenda. So SAP is very smart in these things. If they would have integrated the ABAP application layer or application server on this HANA DB, tell me, will anyone purchase the ABAP system separately? This is my question.
Yeah, Amit, actually, I am not getting clear that what do you mean by ABAP system? ABAP system is doesn't mean right. It practically doesn't exist in because whatever the database we are, ABAP is just like a platform that where we are just writing the
I am
code that
talking
could support.
about the ABAP server.
Yeah, ABAP servers. That's what I am not able to understand. What does it mean by the ABAP server?
Okay, understand this in this way. Who provides the runtime environment for ABAP?
It's a one type of the editor, SAP GUI.
No,
That
no,
is
no,
a
no, 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 no. Array, GUI, you can install it. I'm asking who provides the runtime environment. The NetWeaver component provides the runtime
correct,
environment.
correct. But that is a part of the ABAP GUI, right? We cannot directly
But
install the
yes,
emulative URL.
yes, that's what I am saying. We need to purchase it from SAP, correct?
Correct.
Here, whenever I'm talking about ABAP application server, I'm talking about NetWeaver component only. Now, is it okay?
Yes, yes.
So, if they would have integrated this NetWeaver component to this HANA database, nobody will purchase this, right? Let's make it this way. Okay.
Yeah,
Now is it
yeah,
okay?
that should be
No
fine.
one will purchase this ABAP NetWeaver separately. So what they did, they have only used the open source technologies inside HANA. So using this XSA or XS, we can only build HTML5 applications. This is the open source thing. Java application. Yeah, Java application we can build. Node.js application we can directly build. We can build and run on HANA. But for ABAP applications, for developing ABAP applications, you still need to go for, you still need to purchase the NetWeaver component. So that's one interesting thing. They have not allowed this. We still need to go for a ABAP application thing. But this is a very interesting part. If you are not a ABAPer, for you just need to purchase this database and you will be able to develop lots of applications directly here without going for any other place. This has the support of runtime environment for all these things. Now getting my point, right? Second thing that we have here is this index server, data store IMCE. So this is the exact place of our in-memory computing engine. This is our main in-memory computing engine. This is our actual database. If you are talking about SAP HANA, this is the database here, where your data is going to be stored. Column store concept is implemented here. Index server. So this is the actual in-memory computing engine. This is our actual database. There is your server. There is your one lightweight server, which will help you to build an end-to-end application directly here. The third component that you see here inside this SAP HANA, it is the name server. Yeah, it is the name server. This name server is simply used to coordinate between multiple HANA boxes in case of a distributed environment. Very interesting here. Mainly this is not for a ABAPer, but please try to understand here. Second component, yeah. Second is our index server. Index server. Third is our name server. Fourth is our script server and doc store. And last one is some integration tool. We'll see that. So this is our main, this is our exact in-memory computing engine. This is our actual database. So in-memory computing engine, and this is our actual database here. There you have your name server. So mainly for big companies, or for multiple correlated companies who are working together. Let's say some companies who are working together. Companies who are working together. So at that time, there can be possibility. Just a hypothetical situation to understand this name server concept. So there can be possibility that multiple HANA might be connected with each other. Connected with each other. So in those situations, HANA consultant, not ABAP on HANA consultants, only HANA consultant or admin uses this component to coordinate between these multiple HANA boxes. So this part is not for us, just a basic idea. A script server they have given for machine learning things. Also, we can use this database for machine learning libraries. So there are lots of libraries like AFL is there, EML is there. Yeah. So this script server, this is mainly dedicated for third-party integration like machine learning libraries, libraries, libraries. Yeah. So there is your application function library, which has lots of inbuilt function for machine learning activities, calculation, predictions. External machine learning library is also there, which is used to integrate HANA server to execute a logic in third-party server for machine learning things and get the result back to HANA. So they have also created it for machine learning purpose. Yeah. Then there is one interesting thing called doc store. If you recall, we have mainly two kinds of storage system, row store and column store. And I said yesterday, the third type of storage system is also there, which is called doc store. It is the third type of database store. It came with HANA 2.0, the second upgradation of HANA. And what it does, it allows us to store the data directly in form of a compressed JSON format in HANA database. Compressed JSON format. Again, this is also we cannot choose from ABAP side. You can see we have only two things are there. They are either we have row store or column store. But those people who especially mainly for native HANA developers who is basically working on HANA part, this is for them. But this is a certification question, doc store. Yeah, this is a certification question, doc store. Third kind of storage system. Then you have the last component, integration, data tools and tooling support mainly for HANA admin part. It will help you to integrate with other other technology like Hadoop, big data. So lots of integration is also supported by this HANA database. HANA admin support is also there inside it for any problems. Yeah. This is the thing here. So we have our SAP HANA database. We have our ABAP NetWeaver component. Two different systems are there. How you are going to connect them? That's where your thing will come into picture from next session. But before that, there are lots of systems which can be directly connected with HANA database. So various systems which can connect with HANA. Lots of systems are there. Like one is your ABAP system. So ABAP server. Here again SAP NetWeaver. PW server is needed. Web server can also be connected. HANA is a very powerful thing. This is not only a database. HANA Studio. Okay, Kuntal, tell me what is HANA Studio?
Yeah, HANA Studio is one type of the component, right, where you can have this SQL, native SQL, and all these things. So I didn't recollect it, but it is basically supporting the Eclipse part.
Support in a Eclipse part.
But
Okay.
it is having the component for the Eclipse. HANA Studio is basically is one kind of the software. I mean to say that.
Component of the Eclipse. Okay. I will not say component of the Eclipse, but it is Eclipse actually only. having some addition on that.
Correct. Mhm.
So don't say it like some component or some, it just Eclipse itself. They have copied Eclipse completely. We'll see that what they have copied here. But we can connect this HANA DB, this HANA DB with ABAP system for executing ABAP code. BW server used mainly for analytics or read operation. Yeah. So a web server or a browser can connect to SAP HANA. Yeah. And then there is your HANA Studio. So this is a tool. This is a tool which is used to directly connect both with HANA DB and ABAP server. It's not a component of anything. It is a tool which will be directly used. Yeah. So they have copied the version of Eclipse. This BW system, one OLAP and OLTP concept is still remaining. We'll discuss that. Then we will jump to this part and we will start coding on Eclipse. Guys, these theoretical concepts are really important. Without understanding these things, you can't expect to learn or you can't expect to code directly on Eclipse. These are the foundation for all the stuff. You need to understand what is data to code, what is code to data. You need to understand the row store and column store concept. Yeah. Right, Kuntal?
Yes.
Mhm. So this is the thing here for today. Your HANA database and this new programming paradigm. We are going to only use our directly HANA layer to execute all the code, all the possible code, and where this platform is going to help us. Now, if you ask about my perception, how SAP is working, SAP is mainly focused on the should I say, open source things. They saw there was a thing called OData, which is open source. They integrated it so that we can build the APIs. They saw there is one tool called Eclipse, so they also integrate use directly took it. Yeah, and they developed their platform so that we can directly use work on HANA layer also. You don't need to be dependent on GUI.
But Amrit, I have one question over here.
Hmm.
Basically, in ECC also we have the BW server.
Yeah, so
Even web
BW
service
is
is
very
also there.
old. Yes,
Yeah, that's what. Uh,
BW is a very old thing. Now with
yes,
HANA coming into picture, this thing is eventually getting obsolete.
and it was coming to the new picture for the S4 HANA BW, right?
Yeah, see, if you talk about HANA now, earlier it
Mm.
came only for analytical purpose.
Correct. It's
That is
basically for the
why,
BW
yeah,
using.
earlier it came, no, not for BW using. Earlier it was planned to for analytical purpose so that it can give better computation result, right?
Mhm.
But over the period of time, they made it for day-to-day transactional part also, so that you can directly store everything. And you can also perform the analytical part on the same system. You don't need to go for a separate BW system now. That's why most of, if you check, lots of projects are working from BW to BI or BW to other things. Lots of migration are going on from here. BW is also a separate on-premise system, correct? A
Yes.
separate license cost is needed. But if you are on there, from now on, you don't need this.
Because if we think about the HANA architecture or all these kind of the things, see, basically HANA is nothing but ABAP on HANA is nothing but a one type of view we are just writing over here, right? That's what
What
I understand.
ABAP on HANA is?
One of the view, because CDS view and all this, because it's one of the part of the
View?
view, right?
No, 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 no. Array, CDS is not a view. View, if you are saying something, you are, simply means you are watching something, correct?
Mm-hmm.
CDS is a technology there also. I just see this. Let me show a showcase. This is how you are creating any table.
Mm-hmm.
This is your Mara table, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how you have created it. Did you
Correct.
ever thought how it is getting stored in HANA?
Didn't
Just
get
see
the
this.
question. Yeah.
No, no, no. Just see this, how things have changed completely here. If you are thinking that CDS is just a view using which you can perform some aggregate function, you are completely wrong here. Let me just see this. If I'm opening, I'm searching for the same Mara table, how it is in the system here. If I'm
See, see,
opening it,
Amit, I have one question because you are opening it into the because whatever the Mara table you have connected,
no, no, no,
you
no.
have
See,
it
see,
is
I'm
directly
I'm
go to
opening the
the to
GUI. Opening GUI, okay?
that's what I am telling now
Yes,
because
yes, I'm
whenever you
opening GUI. I'm opening GUI. This is GUI, correct?
yes, yes. One second. Let me finish.
Uh,
Because if you just execute the database AC11 and execute the Mara table over here and display it, SAP itself write a code, right? So
no,
extract
no,
the
no.
data
It is
and
not writing the code.
then how no no. My question is that Mara there is lots of the table in the ACC, right? Mara, Waveland, and Vivac, and all these table. So all this data has been stored in the such a way, and whenever we are just perform the initial read, delete, and update statement over here, so the backend code itself get triggered. So in whatever the view, whatever the things you are displaying in the Eclipse way, by getting the Mara table, it's a backend kind of the view or kind of the code that has SAP already written over there. If you check the Mara table over here, it is directly connected to the SAP server, right? We cannot have the database which we do not have to connected to the I mean to say that is HANA database. Eclipse is one type. Eclipse doesn't have its own database, right?
Array, Eclipse is a tool. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Eclipse is a tool. HANA database is a database. See, this tool is going to be used to connect with the HANA database. It is going to be used to connect with ABAP application server also, so
Mhm.
that you can develop the ABAP program directly from here. I wanted to show you. Just see, this is the view, how the thing has been being developed.
Correct, correct,
This is the
correct,
CDS way of developing thing. This is the CDS technology which is being used to develop this your table, which was not there before 2015. When they came with this S4 HANA system, they turned
Mhm.
everything into CDS only. And even if you are going for public cloud, or if you are going for even BTP platform or a
Mhm.
BAPN cloud system, this is the only way using which you can develop the tables. There is no concept of GUI there.
Correct.
The future of GUI is on doom. Only programming part will be there. See this. Now, this is the CDS way. Some annotations are being used.
Mhm.
Even